So NASCAR released their 2021 TV broadcast schedule today, and that, of course, included the start times of each of the Cup Series races for next year. And guess which word is conveniently forgotten once again? It's a four-letter word that starts with N, and it's noon. Noon starts. No noon starts. In fact, the story of the year once again into 2021 is late start times. There is exactly one exception to this, and it's a race that starts at 1 p.m. And when we look at the schedule, we'll let you know exactly which race that is. But somehow I feel like, given knowing which race it is, I think they're trolling a little bit. But I know there's a lot more important things out in the world right now, but I just want to get this off my chest. I just want to rant a little bit. It's always fun to blow off a little bit of steam, even if it's about something that's, at the end of the day, not that important. I mean, start times for NASCAR races. But rants are fun to do. They're fun to listen to. I hope you'll be entertained by this. But there's really 2 points. 2 points against starting races in the afternoon, or especially like the late afternoon. Number one are the people in attendance at the racetrack. Now, of course, in the new abnormal, there are going to be some racetracks that are less than at full capacity. But in normal circumstances, all the paying customers at the racetrack, generally speaking, there's not that much to do at a racetrack. So if you get in there at a reasonable hour and the race starts at 3 or 4 or 5 in the afternoon, you're just sitting around at the racetrack and you really don't have a whole lot to do. So from an entertainment perspective, for those people who are really making the investment, I mean, a TV audience, yeah, sure, you're making a time investment to sit on your couch and turn on your TV, but you're not really paying any more money other than the cable bill you already pay, the television, electric bill, XYZ. You actually have to put forth effort to get into a car or a bus or a train or a plane or whatever and go to the racetrack, buy your ticket, buy your merchandise, buy your $8 beer, all of that stuff at the racetrack. To me, it's better for the paying customers to have an earlier start time because you give them entertainment a little bit more quickly and you get the actual show going. I mean, especially on oval tracks where NASCAR is still, even though there's 7 now road courses on the schedule for next year, is really based. It's difficult to have support races, and NASCAR really doesn't do support races anyway. They're usually, now, again, kind of in the new abnormal, there's kind of more double headers with Xfinity or trucks on Cup days, but I have a feeling as things get to actually be normal again, they'll start separating those races out again into separate days. So it's not like you're going in and saying, okay, the Cup race starts at 4 p.m., but hey, we got an Xfinity race before, we've got an ARCA race before, we've got a truck race before. You're usually just sitting around the racetrack. Speaking of sitting around, that's point number 2, which, we really saw take place in 2020, which is the earlier you start the race, the more time you have budgeted in on a weekend, again, benefiting the paying customers who want to see a race happen on the day that the ticket claims that the race is happening. If there is inclement weather and your start time was supposed to be noon, you have virtually the entire day, especially if the track has lights, to get that track dry, to get the event in. Also, just thinking, if your event starts, say, at noon, and you get to that 100-lap mark, and it rains, well, okay, you've made it an official race at least. Does it suck if the race gets canceled at 101 laps or whatever? Sure, absolutely. Is it worse than raining out an entire day because you insisted on a 4 p.m. start, and then you all the people who were only going to be there for Sunday didn't get to see any racing versus 100 laps? That's the thing that always gets me, especially this year. I mean, the Daytona 500 could have run a pretty large portion of the race before they actually started it, and it rained and they missed like and they missed. I think they didn't even get any green flag laps in on Sunday this year at the Daytona 500. I hope that doesn't happen again. But it seems like NASCAR had a really bad time of it with weather this year. And again, earlier start times, while they don't guarantee you're not going to have a rain out, it at least gives you some extra time to work with to try to get the track dry or to try to get some laps in. Give the people who, again, are making that investment to be there a little bit more entertainment for their money. I don't know. Let's take a look at the schedule here and talk about not only the start times, but also the television broadcasters that are going to have the races, because I think there's going to be just some discussion there as well. And we'll try to go through this fairly quickly. So the first couple of columns here, the Clash, 7 p.m. Obviously, that makes sense for a late start. That race has been a night race for, I think, more or less 15 years, and that'll be on the road course. So I guess at the very least, it's good that the road course race may be at night, and the actual Daytona road course race, which will be for points, will be in the day. Maybe it will be less of a test session. Who knows? The duels, now I'm back, a boomer, so I think of the Gatorade 125s happening at noon on a Thursday. Obviously, for TV, it does make more sense on a Thursday night to run them at night. Daytona 500, 2:30 p.m. start. That's not great. I think it's better than it has been in previous years. I would still love to see it start at noon, to be honest with you, but I don't think that's ever going to happen as long as Fox has the contract anyway. Daytona Road Course, which of course is the replacement for Fontana, 3 p.m. Homestead, Miami, 3:30 p.m. Las Vegas, 3. So Miami, Vegas, and Phoenix all at 3:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Oh God. Atlanta back up to 3 p.m. Bristol Dirt. So what I'm seeing here is that it seems like, well, I was going to say it seems like Fox maybe demands later start times than NBC, but I don't know. So we go to an off week on April 4th, Martinsville at night, Richmond 3 p.m., Talladega at least at 2 p.m., so that's the most reasonable time in the first half of the season. Kansas at 3 p.m. on FS1. I'm sure that TV rating will be fantastic. Darlington at 3:30 on FS1. Yeah, it looks like Fox just totally gives up at the end of the season too, because it's just all FS1 races. The only Fox race is Charlotte, and then they actually finished their broadcast schedule with the All-Star race in Texas. And of course, Sonoma, that's in major jeopardy considering where it is in the world. So there's a possibility that race will get canceled anyway and move somewhere else. We pick up NBC's calendar at 3:30 on NBCSN for Nashville, 3 for Pocono, 3:30 for the second Pocono race, 2:30 for Road America. All right, that's a better time, but of course that's a road course, so the weather doesn't matter quite as much. Atlanta at 3:30, New Hampshire at 3 p.m. You got your stupid Olympics break, which is the dumbest thing ever. I hate it when series take massive breaks for the Olympics, but that's a rant for another day. Watkins Glen at 3 p.m. Good luck that race happening too. That may be another one that gets canceled. We'll have to see. The 1 p.m. race, and I swear to God they're trolling me, is that it's Indianapolis is the race that's the 1 p.m. race. It's like, we're going to give David just a little bit of something. We're going to start the Indy race an hour earlier than all the rest of the races. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate that. Michigan at 3 p.m. Daytona, the regular season finale at 7. That makes sense. That's a night race, traditionally a night race. That's fine. Then the playoffs start, and while the start times, these are all night races, so it makes sense, but they're all on NBCSN. So I don't know how NASCAR fans feel about that. I kind of wonder if that's not a great start to the playoffs there to have a bunch of cable races. The first actual NBC race, and I think in a lot of ways, a lot of the normies will actually start to consider the beginning of the playoffs is the Talladega race at 2. So it looks like there's 2 really late start races are Kansas and Phoenix. I guess Phoenix makes a little more sense to start late because that's a racetrack that has lights. And it's in the desert, so rain's generally not a problem there, though I do remember, God, it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago that there was a rain out there. But yeah, it's gonna be not fun from a start time perspective in 2021. So there we go. That's it. Just had to get that off my chest. Roast the start times a little bit. Noon. 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 Start them at noon. Start the races at noon. At least start the opening ceremonies at noon. If you throw the green at 12:30, 12:45, whatever. It's fine. Are there really that many fans on the West Coast anyway? And those who are watching anyway, they're probably hardcore enough that they're going to get up at 9 a.m. and watch a race anyway. I don't know. Ugh. But anyway, I do feel better. I do feel better after going on this rant here. Get your stuff together, TV providers. Ain't nobody wants to sit around at a racetrack with nothing to do until 3 p.m., especially in the abnormal times that we're living in, because it's not like you can go to the garage and get an autograph. That's not going to be happening anytime soon, it seems. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube. Subscribe for more videos like this one, and I will see you in the next video.